Ever wish you could ditch those cold, impersonal landing pages? You know, the ones that everyone gets.
Yeah.
And trade them in for something that feels, well, actually made for the person you're trying to connect with.
Yeah, feels way more human, right?
Exactly.
Mm.
And what if I told you that you could even work in a video background? But not just any video, one that's pulled straight from their website.
Okay, now that's getting interesting. How does that even work?
Well, that's the magic we're diving into today. We're taking a deep dive into Snapifier for outreach.
Snapifier, interesting name. I'm intrigued.
Right. So we've all been there, battling that overflowing inbox. Makes no difference if you're an entrepreneur or running a giant marketing team or even just part of a sales team. Getting someone's attention, that's the real challenge these days.
Yeah, it's tough to stand out for sure. Everyone wants that secret formula.
And that's where Snapifier says they have the answer. They're tackling that exact problem, making your outreach more personal, more effective. But here's the best part. They claim you can do it all without blowing your budget. Or worse, getting flagged as spam.
Okay, so how do they back up these claims? What's their secret sauce?
So instead of just listing off features, let's try to actually visualize this. Imagine you're reaching out to a potential client, let's say a CEO, definitely someone with limited time. With Snapifier, instead of landing on just a generic page after they click, they see a personalized greeting, maybe even a mention of something they just accomplished, a recent project or something.
Okay, that's smart. Grabbing their attention right away with something relevant.
And then, get this, playing subtly in the background is a dynamic video. And get this, it's their own company website.
Whoa, hold on. That's wild. How did they pull that off?
That's the tech they've developed. And it totally changes the game, right? It's like you're suddenly having a conversation, not just another sales pitch.
Totally. That's exactly it. It's that switch, right? Going from cold and transactional to something that actually feels, I don't know, warmer, more human.
Right, like a virtual handshake instead of a billboard.
Because let's be honest, those generic landing pages, they just scream mass message, like you're just a number on a list.
Then nobody wants to feel like that.
Exactly. But when you actually take that time to personalize, even just a little, it shows them, hey, I see you, I value your time, I'm actually interested in a conversation.
It's all about making that human connection.
And in those first few seconds, when someone's deciding whether to read your email or hit delete, that can make all the difference.
You're competing with so much noise online. You really got to stand out.
Totally. It's a battle for attention out there.
And the cool thing is, they don't expect you to, totally revamp your whole approach in a day, right? Snapifier starts with a really manageable 5-page plan.
Oh, okay. So it's not like an all or nothing kind of deal.
Exactly. You can kind of test the waters with personalized landing pages without a huge investment up front. And then, if you're seeing results, scale up to more pages as needed.
That makes sense. So start small, see what works, and grow from there.
Exactly. But it gets even more interesting. The source material mentioned that you can actually embed these personalized Snapifier pages within your existing pages.
Wait, what? So even if I don't have someone's website info, I can still create that element of surprise.
Exactly. You can still wow them right within the pages you're already using.
Okay, that's next level. That's really thinking outside the box.
Right. It's not just about personalizing for the sake of it. It's about creating a cohesive experience. From the moment they open your email to when they land on your page, it's all connected.
And that level of customization, even within a structure you already have, it can completely change how people see your brand and how open they are to what you're saying.
So we're talking personalized greetings, their own website playing in the background, dynamic content that adjusts just for them. It does sound pretty futuristic.
It does feel a bit like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Right. Almost too good to be true. I bet some of our listeners are thinking, okay, but does this really work? Or is it just a bunch of bells and whistles, a flashy gimmick?
I'd be thinking the same thing. Proof is in the pudding, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So does it actually deliver? Well, according to the source material, the data tells a pretty compelling story. They've got testimonials from actual users who have seen a significant jump in engagement, in conversion rates, all from using Snapifier.
Oh, so they have some numbers to back up the hype.
They do.
Huh.
And big ones. One marketer mentioned, get this, a 300% increase in responses after making the switch to these personalized landing pages.
300%. Okay, now that's impressive, but what kind of responses are we talking about here?
That's the key, right? It's not just about vanity metrics. We're talking actual people taking the time to reply to their outreach emails, schedule calls, actually move down the sales funnel.
Okay, so real engagement, not just someone clicking a link and bouncing.
Right, actual conversations starting, which, let's be honest, that's the whole point.
Absolutely. Because getting someone on the phone, that's often the biggest hurdle.
Totally. But I can also imagine some people might be hearing this and thinking, hold on, isn't this getting a little creepy? Like,
Hmm.
is it possible to go too far with personalization and end up making people uncomfortable?
Yeah, that's a valid concern, for sure. Nobody wants to feel like Big Brother is watching their every move.
Exactly. So how do you find that balance?
It's all about transparency and relevance. You're not like digging into someone's personal life or using information that feels, invasive.
Right, you don't want them to feel like you're reading their diary or something.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You walk into your local coffee shop, right? And the barista, they remember your usual order, greet you by name, maybe even ask about that project you were working on.
Okay, I like that.
That's personalization done right. It makes you feel valued, not spied on.
Right. It's that, oh, you know me, that's nice feeling, not the, whoa, how did they get my order history feeling.
Exactly. It's all about intention.
And speaking of things that make people nervous, we can't forget about data privacy.
Oh, for sure. That's a big one these days.
Right. With all this talk about personalization, dynamic content, pulling info from websites, what are they doing to make sure everyone's information is actually safe?
Well, from what I'm seeing, Snapify seems to take data security very seriously.
Good.
They're fully compliant with GDPR and all those other relevant data protection regulations.
Okay, so that's a good sign.
Right, so you can at least feel somewhat reassured that they're handling sensitive information responsibly.
So it's not like they're digging into some, hidden database or anything like that.
On what they say, no.
Mhm.
They're only using publicly available data. So think company websites, professional profiles, stuff you could find with a quick Google search.
Okay, so no black hat hacking or anything like that.
Not that we're aware of.
That's good to know. That definitely puts my mind at ease a little bit. But let's talk about the practical side of things for a second, because a lot of our listeners are already using, different marketing tools, automation tools, you name it.
Right. Got to have that tech stack working for you.
Exactly. So will Snapify actually play nicely with others, or is it going to be a headache to integrate?
Well, based on the source material, it seems like they've really prioritized user experience. They've designed the platform to integrate seamlessly with all the major players.
Oh, so we're talking email, autoresponders, website platforms, all that good stuff.
All of it. You can essentially plug and play. No need to become a coding whiz overnight.
That's music to my ears. Because let's be honest, who has time to learn a whole new system? Not
Oh,
me.
Nobody's got time for that.
And it's not just about the tech itself, right? One thing that really jumped out at me in the source material was this mastermind community they talked about.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. It's not every day you see that kind of support built into a platform.
Right. Like, it's one thing to have the tools, but then what? It's almost like they're really trying to build like a whole ecosystem around outreach and engagement.
Exactly. And imagine, having access to this network of people all facing the same challenges, trying to achieve the same goals. You could swap strategies, troubleshoot problems.
Bounce ideas off each other.
Exactly. It's like having a built-in support system, which, let's be honest, can be a game changer, especially if you're an entrepreneur or small business owner, wearing all the hats.
Oh, absolutely. You're not alone in the trenches.
Sure.
And speaking of support, the source material also mentioned something about training resources inside this mastermind community. Do you remember seeing that?
Yes. They offer some pretty in-depth training. Everything from, get this, using scraped data, which basically means all that publicly available contact info you can find online.
Right, like company websites and stuff.
Exactly, to automate your outreach. Plus, strategies for protecting your email reputation, which is huge.
Oh, yeah, because you don't want to end up in the spam folder.
Exactly. And they even have modules on writing compelling copy and designing high-converting landing pages. So it's really a holistic approach.
Okay, so they're not just giving you the keys to the car and saying good luck. They're actually giving you the roadmap to get where you need to go.
It's like they've really thought about all the common pain points that people have with outreach and tried to address them head on, especially for those of us who aren't, marketing masterminds or tech wizards.
Right, they're trying to make this accessible to everyone.
Exactly. It all comes back to that idea of turning cold outreach into something that's warmer, more human.
More genuine, right?
Yes. Because instead of blasting out these generic messages, you're taking the time to make people feel seen, make them feel valued. And in today's online world, that can make all the difference.
It really can. Well said. So to wrap things up, it seems like Snapify for outreach is definitely shaking things up in the world of personalized outreach. It's affordable, it's scalable, and it's packed with features to help you make a memorable first impression.
But I think the biggest takeaway here is that it's not a magic bullet.
Right, you can't just set it and forget it.
Exactly. The real magic, it happens when you combine the power of technology with your own creativity, your own understanding of your audience.
It's about finding that sweet spot where tech meets human touch.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, if you're curious to check out Snapifier and see if it might be a good fit for your outreach, we definitely encourage you to do so. And hey, if you decide to give it a try, let us know. We'd love to hear about your experience. Until next time, happy connecting.